do not put it past Jalen Hurts. I don't put anything past Jalen Hurts as far as his mental and physical toughness. So there's a chance he could play this week.
Okay, well, that would be idiotic.
Planning for both.
Okay, that's fine. But that would be idiotic. Listen, because the Cowboys, had they been able to hold on to a 17-point lead against Jacksonville, or if Dak doesn't throw the pick six in overtime after they blow a 17-point lead, could really be putting pressure on Philly. They have a banged-up quarterback. Dallas would be playing to lead the division, but they didn't. And so now Philly's in this position. For them not to win the division, they have to lose out, and the Cowboys have to win out. And so, obviously, they shouldn't play Jalen Hurts this weekend. They've earned themselves the grace of being able to be cautious with the player as far as resting him. My question is, are teams going to start being cautious with their quarterbacks from how they play them? Because a very wise man who happens to be sitting to my right once upon a time said, I've seen a lot of great young running quarterbacks, not a lot of great old running quarterbacks. And we look around the league right now, and there are 3 star quarterbacks who running is not a bonus part of their game. It is a featured necessity of their game. And one of them, Lamar Jackson, has a messed up knee. One of them, Jalen Hurts, has a messed up shoulder. And one of them, Josh Allen, has a messed up elbow. So I think it is a nice benefit for your quarterback to be able to escape with his legs. I love what, for example, Mahomes can do with his legs. I would hate it if a huge part of the Chiefs' designed attack was having Mahomes do what they have Jalen Hurts do. Now, Mahomes is not the athlete Jalen Hurts is. However, the coach, they've made a big deal in Philly about how we've solved 3rd and short. All we had to do was change the sport. Okay, great. Explain to me how that rugby scrum works. Right. Oh, we take our most valuable player, and we have all 21 other guys on the field hit him from different directions, and we believe that our team's stronger. I mean, it's a good way to get a yard, not a great way to protect the franchise. Fair. And so this stinks for Jalen, but it's not shocking. Some injuries can be, disappointing, but not shocking. But it's like, the guy who runs all the... Justin Fields this weekend got hurt as well, by the way. He came back. So I think Philadelphia's got to be real cautious about what they're trying to do with their quarterback. Last time they had a running quarterback, he got his knee blown up at the goal line right before he was going to win league MVP. Never was the same player.
Well, we could add Kyler Murray to another...
I forgot about him. I was thinking good players, but sure, yeah.
How about the idea...
Sorry.
How about the idea of not having your quarterback have more rushing attempts than your running back in the first half? How about we start there? And look, I don't put anything but past him either in terms of his toughness and intensity and all those things. I think those things are great, but I think they're in a position right now where they need him to be healthy in the playoffs. They need him for the stretch run. And one of the underrated moves was getting Gardner Minshew. And I know his record isn't necessarily great, but he's got 41 touchdowns and 12 interceptions and like a 94 quarterback rating. That's pretty good. And with this team around him, I would imagine he'd be very competitive. He's a good answer. He's a really good answer. And then at least puts you in a position to have your quarterback as healthy as possible going into the playoffs.
Look, I think Sirianni was playing games with the Cowboys. I think he knows they're not going to play Jalen. And I agree with what he said. I think Hurts is as impressive mentally and emotionally as he is physically. So I think he was right on the money. But he understands the situation. So you put it out there for the Cowboys, they have to wonder, are we getting Minshew or are we getting Jalen Hurts? So I think it's smart what he said. It wouldn't be smart to play him. And I think what you said, Nick, with the running quarter, look, that's conventional wisdom.
But
that's why we didn't think he's going to
That didn't feel like gamemanship. That felt like sincerity, like I wouldn't put him past.
That makes it more effective.
Yeah.
He can't be serious.
I think he's...
Unless the injury's not as serious as we think.
It felt like watching that he was saying, yeah, he's got a shot. And if he's ready to go, we're going to play him.
So if Jalen comes to Nick Sirianni, says, you know what, it's my non-throwing shoulder, I can go. It's the biggest game of the year. Well, on broadcast, we're going to have a massive audience. Also, just in the back of his mind, like Micah Parsons talked a little bit of trash. He claims he wasn't. He was just stating the facts. He knows so much about football, he can't resist. But to me, it feels like Jalen's going to want to go. If you're Nick Sirianni, say, you know what, let's kind of look for the future. Let's not, let's play it safe.
Well, you got to understand what the doctors are saying. And I don't know what the doctors are saying in terms of his ability to make this worse. And to me, if there's any chance of it getting worse, then sometimes you got to save players from themselves. And you've got to look at the big picture, and you can't just say, oh, yeah, we want to win this game. Yeah, you want to win this game. You also want to win the Super Bowl, and he gives you the best chance to win the Super Bowl. So if he has to take a step back in order for the longer-term success of the team, then that's something you have to do. You know, a lot of good quarterbacks historically, after they've run early in their career, then they taper it back and they only run in the red zone, or they only run on third down, or they only run in 2 minutes. That's a way that you can still get the benefit without taking a chance of getting blown up on a 4-yard run.
Which is I understand to a degree. I think Lamar is in a different bucket, and I put Lamar.
And his injuries weren't running; they were in the pocket.
No, I understand that, but I also put Lamar in a similar as our colleague and friend Mike Vick, which is the player does not exist without that component of their game. I put Jalen, because Jalen's throwing numbers when he throws is they're quite good. Just doesn't throw that often. Josh Allen, similarly, obviously. Those teams that use what to me should be the emergency button as the easy button, yes, it is all. You are always at an advantage running the quarterback because the numbers change. Right. The number count changes. We've talked about this before. But there's the reason some teams don't do it is not just because their quarterback can't. It's because when we talk about running back life expectancy in the NFL, it's not because of the position itself. It's because they're getting hit a lot because of what they're doing. And to have a guy that you want to be your franchise and having him in that Bears game running as often as he was, treating, to me it's reckless.
But he's not great without the legs. I don't think he's Josh Allen. Josh Allen.
I'm not sure Josh Allen's great without the legs. I don't.
He's much better than Jalen. I think.
Josh Allen saves so many plays where it's like, oh, yeah, everybody covered? I'll run for 20 yards.
He only threw
talking MVP. Now, the Hurts injury changed the numbers on the MVP race. Patrick Mahomes, he doesn't care.
Not true.
Saying, quote, I honestly don't care. As long as we win the Super Bowl, it won't matter to me. I've won an MVP. I've won a Super Bowl. Super Bowl's a lot better. I buy that.
Yeah, but both is great, and he wants both. The idea that he doesn't care is nonsense.
Well, he said he didn't care.
Okay, that's fine. Listen, we have seen enough from Mahomes on the field.
I finally disagree with Nick. I think he doesn't care. I think for him, now that he's experienced what that Super Bowl experience is like and what it's not like, I think at the end of the day, he doesn't care, and he'd much rather have the Super Bowl than the MVP.
Well, I care. And I'll tell you this much. I care.
And you want it.
I wanted that vote. And here's the deal, guys. The history would look back upon this season and be like, wait, that was dumb. And sometimes if Patrick Mahomes doesn't win MVP, unless he has some meltdown over the final 3 weeks, if the guy who everyone acknowledges is the best player in the sport, who led in every category and did it for the first time in his career with lesser talent around him on a flawed roster, especially according to this side of the table, doesn't win MVP for a player who the reason we didn't ask the question about can the Eagles win without Jalen Hurts was we went around on the pre-show call and we were all like, yep. We all think they could. So then, what? Good. I'm curious. Isn't that what we did? You guys all said the Eagles could win without him? Okay, but it is what happened.
Because they're playing the Cowboys.
Okay,
the Cowboys could lose to the 11 of us in this room on any given Sunday.
Listen, Mahomes has played 5 years in the league. His first year, he should have won MVP, and he did. His second year, he should not have won it. He missed a couple games with an injury, and Lamar Jackson was historic. His third year, he went 14-1, was the most dominant player in the league, and they screwed up and gave it to Aaron Rodgers. He should have that one. His fourth year, he didn't play that well. He shouldn't have it. This year, it is undeniable. He should be the league MVP, and it shouldn't take Jalen Hurts missing a couple weeks for that to happen.
Look, I think it's nip and tuck with Hurts and Mahomes. So if they voted today and Mahomes won,
who would you vote for if it was today?
I think, I had Jalen going into last week, but he threw the 2 picks, and I think that helped Mahomes.
Yeah, Mahomes 20 straight completions, probably.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, everybody's completing 70%.
Okay, can I throw a hypothetical out for you? Sorry, Coach. You go. If Gardner plays against the Cowboys and the Cowboys win 14-0, that Gardner can't move the ball at all.
That'll help
Would
Jalen.
you come on and be like,
Well,
you
but
know
if
what?
he
He's going to get my vote.
He can only miss one game. If he misses 2, I think it's got to go to Mahomes.
He gets penalized
assuming
because
he
the
doesn't
team is
have
good. It's unfair to Jalen.
But look, I think if you put Patrick Mahomes on any team in the NFL, that team's good or very competitive right away. I don't know if you can say the same thing if you put Jalen on.
Of course.
Well, I agree with that. He's the best player in the league. But that doesn't mean you get the MVP every year.
But no,
we
but
see that.